Let's talk about Kaito Signature Move in Tennis Clash, a sports game published by Wildlife Studios. So, I'm going to compare Kaito playing with Foul and with his signature move in Tennis Clash. But before that, I'm going to show you how I got Kaito Signature Move. So, a new cycle of Ace Academy started on the 28th of April 2023. And Kaito's new signature move was made available for the first time in the game, so here I accelerated because there was nothing interesting to see, no signature move. Well, Kaito's signature move reduces stamina consumption of Kaito on all strokes. His signature move is triggered when your opponent's stamina goes below the threshold during a rally. So we are going to see that in my test matches. Don't worry, we will come back on that. Here we go for the first signature move that I got. I got plenty of tickets by buying the bloom bags in the TC store, and then I got plenty of attempts then, as you can see with the number of tickets at the start of this video. So once again, you will see plenty of failed attempts. You will see the final stat by the end. Yeah, I got some extra tickets afterwards. I could only get 2 signature moves of Kaito out of 19 attempts. That's a very, very poor stat. Don't understand why that was so tricky to get Kaito signature move. Only 10.5% of success rate. That's a very, very poor probability, but well, anyway, it's not like I'm so interested by this signature move. So we play some test matches with Kevin Tan, a usual member of GP25 and Friends Club, who went to help our friends in the 4C3 club this week. So what we try to do is to not trying to hit the winners. We try to reduce stamina steadily by just hitting on wishing wiper mode. So as you can see, corner A to corner B all the time until one of us dies because he's exhausted. His character is totally exhausted and has no more stamina. And what we could say, yeah, so obviously you will say that this is not a real match. This is not correct to do this test because this is not a real match. But how could we test otherwise a normal stamina consumption? I explain myself. But before that, I would like to tell you that I'm going to accelerate some parts of the test matches because they are long. They're taking a lot of time in some matches. You are going to see a bit later, not in this one. Some matches are like 7 minutes long, so that will be boring, and we are going just to keep the beginning and then the end of matches to analyze, except for some matches using signature move of Kaito, because it will be interesting to talk about it in details. But yeah, let's come back to the reason why we were hitting like that, me and Kevin Tan. Very simply because I wanted to give the most similar context as possible, as similar as possible context to all matches. And for that, we felt that we needed to hit the shots the most similar way possible. So the easiest thing to do for that is to hit on wishing wiper mode, corner A to corner B, then corner B to corner A, etc. If we try to play matches normally, we could end the matches very fast, and then that would be tricky to see the stamina consumption actually, because some rallies will last only 2 shots, some other rallies like 4 or 5 shots, that will not be steady, that will not allow us to see to get a very similar setup for all matches. So here it will not be perfect anyway in those test matches, because of course now and then one of us will hit out and we can't really hit all shots towards the same spot of the opponent's court surface. Of course that's impossible, so that's not super meaning. But what you can see in this first match when I was playing with Kaito without signature move is that the stamina consumption was almost identical between both players, Kaito and ABKs, and both of those two characters had the same stamina stat, 64. So that was with choker cards in the first match. Now in the second test match, still without signature move for Kaito, we were using a backhand counter string having long catch. The Sakura string, we didn't want to use any string having critical shot, very simply because the critical shots are activated a bit randomly, and that would not, we can't control actually when a critical shot is going to be activated, to be triggered. So that would make the test very different from a match to another if we were using, me and Kevin Tan, a string having backhand counter and critical shots. That's why we chose a backhand counter having long catch to Sakura string. Yeah, sometimes test is not easy because of the unforced errors, and I'm going to try and fix that by hitting out on purpose after this serve, because otherwise that wouldn't be too different. Yeah, as you can see, looking at the stamina bar of both characters, the stamina consumption is quite similar for my Kaito and for this ABK of Kevin Tan. Both have had a precision, so of course big backhand of ABK is not the real, this is not the same hand than Kaito. But overall, because of the nature of the shot, you will see that stamina consumption is quite similar when Kaito has no signature move. Between Kaito and ABK. So yeah, this is a bit tricky too for Kevin Tan to hit exactly at the same power than my Kaito. I told him to try not to hit very hard, just to swipe back, to return the ball a relaxed way. But this is not always easy to calibrate and to try and hit at the same shot power, stroke power. That, yeah, there was confusion there for the angle, for the corner to hit. Anyway, you can have a look at the stamina bar. It's almost the same stamina consumption. You couldn't swipe here, and because some shots to return are stronger from ABK to my Kaito, I think that I lost a bit more of stamina, very little bit more than Kevin Tan. We're going to the end of those two test matches. Here it is. So that was with Kaito having no signature move. We are going to see now the matches with my Kaito having the signature move at level 2 only. This is already a start of this test. So for signature move level 2, the stamina consumption of Kaito is reduced by up to 45%. So 45% is the max percentage on all strokes, as soon as the stamina bar of the opponent is only 80% full or below 80%, of course. The less stamina your opponent has, the fewer stamina you will consume on each of your strokes. And when your opponent has 80% of stamina bar, your own stamina consumption is going to be reduced by 1 or 2%, and then this percentage increases stroke after stroke because your opponent reduces his stamina after each stroke, and then your own stamina consumption is better, is reduced. I mean, your own stamina is consumed less. For instance, as you can see in this match, it is first reduced by 1 or 2%, then by 3%, and by 5%, and by 8%, by 12, 15, by 19%, and by 22%, then by 25, 29, by then 32%, etc. Up to 45%. This is blocked at 45%. I guess that you can get a higher max percentage of stamina consumption reduction with a signature move at a higher level. So this signature move of Kaito sounded a good idea because Kaito would then consume less stamina than the opponent during long rallies. Thus, he would have more chance winning the point thanks to the stamina that he would have saved. Meaning that by the end of a long rally, Kaito would have more chance to win simply because he can make some extra effort to do this desperate long catch to hit back similarly impossible ball to return and then win the point. And it's in theory only, and it will work only if your opponent does not hit very hard or does not consume energy drinks. Let me explain myself. Because if your opponent is Anton or Jonah hitting very hard shots thanks to their signature move level 3 or 4 or 5, saving stamina would then be useless for Kaito, as he will simply delay his death without appropriate strings, of course. The best thing he could do then is to return with long catch, ball after ball, losing stamina faster anyway, because he has to return very powerful shots. If he plays versus Anton, who activates his level 4 or level 5 signature move, for instance, Kaito will have to return extra powerful shots. And then the stamina that he will save on one hand is only lost by returning 2 powerful shots on the other hand, if he can return those missiles, of course. Because this is what happens when you play versus Anton or versus Jonah, who activated their signature move. Here I play on purpose versus ABK, because otherwise, if I play versus Anton or Jonah who activate their signature move, there is no match almost. It's one shot, one winner, as you know, for Anton or for Jonah. when they have, I repeat, their signature move. So as you can see in this test match, even with the signature move on, stamina consumption is almost the same for my Kaito than for this ABK. It is just slightly better during the rally, and by the end I had a little bit, very little bit more stamina. So in short, if this ABK was using energy drink, I wouldn't have died. I wouldn't then be forced to use energy drinks as well. That means that finally this is not so useful to reduce stamina consumption with this signature move. So yes, as I said, this Kaito's reduced stamina consumption is useless if the opponent wants to win at all cost, drinking a lot of energy drinks. And then after each point, or even during long rallies, the opponent of Kaito will simply consume energy drinks to replenish his stamina bar, making him go under the threshold of 80% more slowly. Or if he goes under 80%, he could drink during rallies to refill his stamina bar, making Kaito's stamina consumption reduction rate pretty lame. Obviously, if an opponent consumes a lot of energy drinks and maintains his stamina bar at 60% or 70% full at all time, Kaito's reduced stamina consumption is not going to help him much. He will not have a big advantage by the end of long rallies if his opponents consumes many energy drinks one after the other. And I repeat, in those matches we didn't allow consumption of energy drinks. That being said, so yeah, here we are going to play with Sakura string. We need to test with the same string, of course, without and with signature move. So yeah, what I was saying, that being said, Kaito signature move is not completely useless. It will allow free-to-play players to play the counter-puncher style with him more easily than with Florence or ABK. Well, at least ABK, who doesn't have a signature move, which is the case at the time I make this video, without spending gems or money to buy energy drinks. But of course, Kaito will still have the same problem than Florence or ABK, well, at least an ABK without signature move, versus Anton or Jonah having signature move. He will have to manage shots which are almost impossible to return because they are too powerful. Whether you have a long catch, tier 2 or tier 3 or not, they are simply missiles to return. The signature move effect is reset after each point, whether Kaito or the opponent scores. This is a normal behavior and has no big impact on the use of Kaito's signature move. The good thing now with Kaito's signature move is that we are 99.99% sure that ABK's signature move will be related to strokes power and then will be pretty useful. And I don't say that because I have insider information from Tennis Clash. No, it's actually simple to deduce that. Florence has a signature move linked to agility. Kaito has a signature move linked to stamina. So of course, ABK, the last main counter-puncher character, will not have a signature move linked to serve or to volley. That means that she can only have a signature move linked to forehand and backhand. And then I think that we can be 1000% sure that when ABK's signature move is going to be released, absolutely all players will rush to get Ace Academy tickets so as to try and get her signature move at level 4 or 5, and that will be a very profitable week for Wildlife Studios, of course. I got an interesting question from a GP3 and Friends Club member about the signature move of Kaito. His question was, does your opponent's stamina decrease faster with each stroke when he plays versus Kaito's signature move? So the answer is simple, it's no. Kaito decreases stamina more slowly, but this is for his own stamina consumption. He does not make the opponent lose stamina faster, as you can see in those matches. Stamina consumption is kind of personal, is purely related to each character. You don't force the other character to decrease stamina by some superpower. Yeah, you kind of force him to lose stamina due to your strokes, to your shots, but that's it. But that's the case for all characters with or without signature move. It has nothing to do with Kaito's signature move. Here we are going to see some matches using normal shots. In the matches that you're going to see, we try to hit normally with normal shot power. I mean, not super fast, but at least faster than in the previous test matches, just to see now if it changes something when we try to hit stronger. We still hit it from a corner to the other, but we were trying to do that while swiping normally. Yeah, of course, the problem is that when we try to swipe faster or stronger shots, and yeah, I kind of gave back the point to make a normal test match. So I was saying, while trying to hit harder, of course, our unforced error rate is higher. So yeah, I'm not going to comment the remaining minutes of those matches, but if you observe, and I'm going to show them at normal speed, not going to accelerate them, you are going just to see that actually Kaito's signature move is not that useful. It doesn't change much actually, really, for the stamina consumption. So I know it's just a level 2 signature move for my Kaito, and it may be better with level 5, but with a level 2 signature move that I guess that most of players will have, a lot of them won't have a very high level of signature move for Kaito, especially because they don't use much Kaito anymore. But only Jonah, Anton, ABK. Well, what I can say and see after those test matches is that it's not super useful. So you could say that having more stamina, I can still make this extra effort during a rally. I can hit a bit harder, have more power for the shot, etc. Yeah, and so what? All those little advantages will be reduced to ashes by just 1 or 2 energy drinks of your opponent, and that's it. If he has energy drinks, and if he wants to win, or to have a higher chance to win, you will use energy drinks, and then your efforts will be vain. Your advantages with Kaito will be Nothing. In short, for me, with the current meta of the game, allowing players to use energy drinks, this Kaito signature move is useless. A bit like a Florence signature move is useless. The only good thing is that now we know that ABK signature move will be great because it will give us more stroke power to her forehand and backhand, especially her backhand, of course, and that will balance the game kind of versus Anton or Jonah. So yeah, can't wait now for ABK signature move to be released. Well, I hope you enjoy watching me test Kaito signature move and compare him playing without then with his signature move in Tennis Clash, a sports game published by Wildlife Studios. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel Gameplay TC5 and to turn on the bell to stay tuned for new videos of Tennis Clash. Thank you a lot for your support and see you soon on Gameplay TC5. Bye bye.